amount that you need.
15 or 20 packages like this.
Occasionally I wake up in the morning and kind of dread the cleanup that follows the dumpster dives.
My wife's gonna kill me. She's gonna wake up in the morning and all this food's gonna be rotting in my kitchen. But Finn will have a lot of strawberries.
Even though we still had to buy groceries, we really began living off food pulled from the trash. Eating food out of dumpsters is repulsive to most people, but there is a certain beauty seeing garbage transformed into a meal with friends, and better meals than we could ever afford to buy. Especially when our friend Alfonso, a professional chef, would cook up gourmet dishes from food we had just scrounged out of dumpsters.
Look at that. Oh, Dad. You try to tip the salad?
That's pretty decent, this. Not good?
Yeah, I don't think fish. I don't know about the fish.
Oh, it's good. It's still cold. The chicken was looking a little funky, a little like purplish.
Food makes up about 20% of landfill waste, which means we're feeding our landfills as much as we're feeding our country. So instead of rotting underground, packed beneath the earth and producing harmful methane gas, this garbage was feeding my family and friends, and doing it in style.
Well, this will be blood orange and onion salad with a tranchon of salmon stuffed with feta cheese and spinach, rescued from your local dumpster, and a beautiful blood orange citrus beurre blanc.
The cake is made from 1 dozen dumpster egg whites. The strawberries are 100% dumpster. And delicious.
Dumpster delight.
I found myself wandering through Trader Joe's, hoping for certain items to be waiting for me in the dumpster that night. I got excited when I saw a bad tomato in a pack of 4, or meat that had turned the slightest shade of brown. Anything dated for the next day would most likely be in the dumpster, even though the sell-by or best-by dates don't mean that the food is bad. They're just overly cautious dates for absolute freshness and protection from possible lawsuits. I dreaded more locked dumpsters, which seemed to be a growing trend to keep dumpster divers out and ensure total waste.
This is the Trader Joe's we've been at many times, and they locked it. So the food can then rot inside the dumpster instead of people getting it. That's smart. I don't even want to take all this food home. It's like, I'm tired of it. There's too much. And we only took this much because we didn't want to throw it to waste, but it's like almost 2 in the morning, and I don't have anywhere to put it really.
Even though I would be breaking rule number 1, I decided to buy a freezer for all the excess food. We rarely saw other divers around town, so I knew that most of the discarded food was ending up in landfills. I had to save as much of it as I could.
There's so many, like, a handbook for a freezer. I thought you just plugged it in, but...
Well, that's what I did, and
Okay.
it's fine. I would never donate it to your good cause. This is, yeah. No, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, because
Wow, thank you. Anyway, we got it in the garage.
For free.
For free.
Donate it.
In just over a week of nightly diving, we had a year's supply of meat.
So the freezer is totally filled up. There's just a little layer of some bread and stuff. Just not because I didn't find enough meat, just because we're just tired of meat. You get kind of picky, like you don't want a lot of the same thing. So there's a really nice variety of meats in there.
Rescuing food from the dumpster was great for the few of us doing it, but it felt too self-serving to leave it at that. The question nagged me. Why is all this food being thrown out and not given to people who need it? I decided to ask the grocery stores.
Okay, so here we are at Trader Joe's, Saturday afternoon. I'm going to go in and talk to them because I went to their website, and their website says that they prefer to talk face-to-face. I was just...
Also not allowed to comment on anything. You know,
Right. So none of the stores...
someone will talk to him.
He's going to give me the card for the place I already called, which refused. So basically it's impossible to talk to anybody on camera. I mean, even off camera, they wouldn't discuss details, so...
You got the problem.
No! They won't talk to me. Company policy. No interviews. Nope. No interview. Call this guy. I got the card. For the number for the main office. But she said she'll see a pallet, and on that pallet are 4 trash cans. And those trash cans are all filled with meat. And all of that gets thrown away.
We're here at a dumpster that has a lock gate, and another rule that I've been told is never penetrate into something that is not yours. It's not mine. If they don't open it, then they don't want me to get into it. So
The dumpster's not locked.
but the gate is. I can respect that.
Because what if they lock this one because there's back stock and they don't want people getting into the unused back stock?
I'm going.
I'm going in.
I don't understand how anyone could get upset for you stealing trash.
Oh, wait, there's the bad one.
That's the only bad line I've seen in a whole bunch of them.
You're stealing the waste, you know. This is something that has been discarded and just wants to be forgotten about, and you take it.
Check that out.
I don't see how that can be conceived as being criminal in any way.
But seriously, do you not take this food? You just let it like rot? I mean, limes have been shipped up from Mexico, and like cheese from Germany, and meat from Chile. I mean, do you just let it rot because there's a fence?
Well,
Where do you get it?
it's kind of. I'll get back to you on that. I'm not a fast thinker.
I believe that dumpster diving is civil disobedience, is nonviolent civil disobedience, because I believe in what I'm doing. I believe it's right, and I'm willing to break the law. And I take it seriously to break the law. But I believe it's just, I believe in doing it. If I get caught and arrested, I'd be proud to say I got arrested for eating somebody's waste. I think it's just. I think it's just, and I'm willing to pay the consequences for that. I do it openly when they catch me or people come. I shake their hand and tell them what I'm doing. I say where I'm from. I say what I do with my life. And most of the time, they're very friendly.
It's just private property. Guys, have a nice day. Alrighty. My name's Paul. Sure.
It is technically trespassing, and it is against the law. That is where the conflict comes, is the conflict between what I believe is just and what is legal. And this lifestyle, I believe, is more just than going into the store and buying stuff with money. But rather, this is a totally different and outside the system way of living.
The more stores I visited and phone calls I made, the more silence and resistance I received. Meanwhile, I was attempting to educate myself and kept running into a name in almost every article I read: Timothy Jones. Dr. Jones was former head of the garbage project at the University of Arizona, and probably one of the world's most knowledgeable people on waste. In his 16 years with the project, Dr. Jones found that what we throw out, in its nearly unrestricted quantity and variety, reveals a lot about us as a society. I gave him a call.
The next level we come to is a commercial level. There isn't even any training in reducing food loss. That's not even a concept. It's not in the manuals, about reducing food loss. And I'm not putting it down. I'm simply saying it runs the whole society. They're just no different than anybody else. When you waste food, you're throwing away life because it took life to be able to create that food. And we've lost that. It's more been perceived as a commodity, just like an automobile or something else. 50% of all the food that's up and ready to harvest never makes it into somebody's stomach. If you waste half that food, all of the production that went into it is wasted, right? So all it took to transport it and to grow it, the fertilizers, the increased soil degradation from the farming and everything else, that if we were to cut our food losses in half, we would probably reduce our total overall pollution rates by about 10%.
After my conversation with Timothy Jones, I went to the LA Food Bank, the second largest of its kind in the country. Since nearly all donated food from grocery stores goes through the food bank, I hope to get a better understanding of the situation. Located in the heart of downtown LA, near one of the largest concentrations of homeless people in the world, the infamous Skid Row, I couldn't help thinking about all this wasted food in relationship to hungry people in my own city.
Los Angeles County, we have a population of 10 million people. About 1 in every 10 people are at risk of hunger in Los Angeles County. So roughly just over 1 million people in Los Angeles County at some time during the year are at risk of hunger, not knowing where their next meal is going to come from. So the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank, through a network of 900 charitable agency sites, we reach about 674,000 of those people. So there's still over a third of those people that we're not reaching. So that's how big the problem is here. Even a food bank of our size, 100,000 square foot facility, distributing 35 million pounds a year, still not reaching the demand here in LA County. It's a big problem here in America, where you do have all that kind of food and resources available, that you still have people falling through the cracks. And that shouldn't happen in this country. We export billions of pounds of food to other countries too, on top of what we keep here, and we're still not making food available to everybody in America, which is kind of a sad state of affairs, isn't it?
Vast empires of food be part of the solution? Many of them already were. Almost every major grocery store is on the LA Food Bank's list of donors. The question is, could they do more? And from the amount of food thrown into dumpsters every night, the answer is yes. Darren told me that the LA Food Bank is short 11 million pounds of food every year. If the entire country throws out 96 billion pounds of food every year, what about just Los Angeles County? I'm going to use this whipped cream I got out of the dumpster the other night to do the math to see how much food LA County throws away every year. Every year in LA County, we throw away 24 billion pounds of trash. According to the EPA, 12% of that is food waste. That means we throw away 2,880,000,000 pounds of food. Saving just 1% of LA's food waste would equal nearly 30 million pounds of food. That's almost triple what the food bank is short every year. Food waste happens on all levels of production and consumption. On farms, in transit, in the making of highly produced foods, in grocery stores, in restaurants, and